There's a word that we don't always know what to do with, and it's sin. Maybe you hear that word and you think of fire and brimstone sermons like Jonathan Edwards' Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God. Or maybe there's some shame attached to it that just eats you alive. Or maybe worse still, you try to avoid the thought of it entirely. But sin isn't just a religious buzzword. It's actually what helps explain what's wrong with the world. If you've ever looked at the world and thought, this isn't the way that things are supposed to be, that's actually a first step towards understanding the nature and consequence of sin. The problem that I've seen a lot of people run into is that we talk about sin in very shallow and superficial ways. We treat sin like it's just a laundry list of things that we're not supposed to do. Actions to avoid, places not to be, things not to do. But sin goes so much deeper than just things that we're supposed to do and things that we're not supposed to do. It's not just about breaking rules. There is a breaking of relationship that comes along with it. You don't just see sin in the big moments. It shows up in the ways that we bend the truth, we numb our pain, we ignore other people's needs, and just focus on our own, and just center things around ourselves like we are the kings and queens of the world. The hard truth is that sin isn't just out there, it's in us. It rules over us from the outside, and it rules in our bodies from within. It distorts the way that we see God, the way we see others, and the way we see ourselves. So if we want to take spiritual growth seriously, we can't skip over this. And that's not an invitation to just wallow in guilt or feel bad about what we've done in the past or to just beat on ourselves, but so that we can be honest, so we can be free, and so we can open up to healing. So let's talk about it. What is sin really? Where does it show up, and what do we do with it? So let me just point you back first to the fact that sin isn't just what we do. It's a direction that our hearts are facing. The Greek word that the New Testament uses to describe sin is the word harmatia, and it's an archery term. It's a term that describes how an arrow would miss the mark, that would miss the target. And that's the nature of sin. It's a miss. It's a miss of what's good. Augustine called it disordered love. It's basically loving the wrong things too much and loving the right things, the good things, in the wrong order. It's just missing how things are supposed to be. When we put ourselves at the center instead of putting God at the center, everything gets distorted. Everything falls apart. So sin is subtle. It's not just rebellion and open defiance, as you might think, just blatant disobedience of rules, but it's a misalignment. It's being out of order with God's good ordering of the world. And if we're plain about this, sin rarely shows up looking like pure evil. It likes to lure you in bit by bit, step by step. You don't just go from kind of bad to absolute evil overnight. It's a series of steps. It's subtle. It starts by looking reasonable, appealing. We think back to Genesis 3. The fruit wasn't rotten. The fruit looked good, right? The fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. The temptation really tickled their ears, right? You eat it, you'll be like God. It was pleasing to the eye and desirable for wisdom. But sin always overpromises and underdelivers. Sin wants to maul us like a predator. In Genesis 4:7, God describes sin to Cain. And he says that sin is crouching at the door and its desires for you. It's not passive. It's not just sitting back and letting you come to it and make your request of sin and rebellion. It's like a tiger waiting at the door, waiting to devour you. It's a tyrant who wants to rule over you. It is a bad master. It is vengeful and malicious. And maybe you're feeling that. Maybe you feel the weight and the pressure of trying to clean up your past, of trying to clean up your image, to hide your flaws, to fix yourself. But the gospel's not about trying harder. Just do more. Just try harder. That's not it. The gospel's about grace. The gospel is good news. The gospel tells us that we can't overthrow the power of sin on our own. But there was one that did it. That Christ conquered sin, death, and the grave. And thank God that Jesus didn't come for people who have it all together. They came for people who miss it, who aim at the good and miss. He came for sinners, for people like you and like me. The invitation isn't just to avoid sin, to keep the door closed, to just stay vigilant against the attack of the tiger. It's to be made new, to be brought out of the tyranny of sin, to come out of hiding, to let God rewire our hearts, to change our disordered loves into ordered loves fixed on Him. And isn't it wonderful that while sin is real, grace is ever so more real? Where's God inviting you to rely? Where are you being gently corrected? I'd love to hear from you. What helped you first understand the idea of sin? Or maybe what confused you about it? We can have a conversation in the comments below. And if something stirred in you, reach out. I'd love to talk to you more about the good news of what Jesus has on offer. Maybe follow along, because we'll be talking more about the gospel soon.